Hey guys, Welsknight here, and welcome back to another episode of All the Mods 7. Hope you guys are having an awesome day. I'm having a fantastic day. I did a bit between episodes, made a few more heat generators to give us more power, did a ton of mining, and used a bunch of those mined resources to expand a few things. So I made myself a broad axe, which can chop down a tree in a single swipe. I made myself a magnet that can pick up items from a distance. Ta-da! And I made myself a jetpack, which is currently charging up in our battery over there. And that's going to be super useful for today, because what I want to do today is take care of food, and that's the big thing. I want to take care of food, and in order to do that, I want to be able to make hamburgers. Now, these aren't super hard to make. All you need is some bread, which I actually don't have any of made already, but that's fine. You basically just need some bread, one piece of raw beef, and a frying pan, which is just made with 5 iron ingots. And then you combine all 3 of those things, and that gives you a hamburger, which is amazing. It is 5 full haunches of hunger, but more importantly, it completely maxes out your food saturation. So it's a great food source that's relatively easy to make. But in order to have this as a renewable food source, as a food source we can rely on forever, we need cows, and we need wheat, and we need to farm those things. Right now, to get these ones that I have right now, I just ran around the world and slaughtered some cows and stole some hay bales from villages, but that doesn't really do us all that much good. Oh, also, I got a gold cleaver, or a bronze cleaver here, and the cobalt pickaxe, these tinker's tools. I maxed these out on luckiest, which is looting / fortune, depending on whether it's on a weapon or a tool. And I had to go so far to find rabbits. I had to go all the way over here before I finally found a desert with a few rabbits to get the rabbit's feet that I needed, but I did get what I needed, so it's all good. Now, let's grab this jetpack, and this is you just wear it in your armor slot, and if we head into the nether, we should be able to get some good stuff. In order to get cows, yeah, I could do it the vanilla way and either use leads or wheat to lead them hundreds and hundreds of blocks across the world, but that was just a pain. So instead, what I want is mob imprisonment tools from Industrial Foregoing. And these are super easy to make. It's just 4 plastic, which is very easy to get. But then you also need we'll also need gas tiers, and we'll need 2 of these. So, bearing that in mind, I'm going to take my jetpack. I'm going to go into I'm going to turn on my jetpack. There we go. Hey, rude. Don't shoot at me. And we're going to pop in here, and basically I'm going to fly around and look for some gas. Now, the jetpack does have a finite amount of fuel. It runs off of energy, essentially, off of power. And if I am not careful, I will run out and fall to my inevitable doom. So I'm going to have to keep an eye on that, but for the most part, look how fast you can fly with this thing. We're zipping. Anyway, I'm going to fly around the nether, and while I'm here, I might as well look for some more cobalt and other valuable ores and things. So, yeah, should be a pretty good little nether adventure. Well, after a trip to the nether, I should be good on gas tiers. I've got 9 of them now. So I went ahead and I made a fluid extractor. In fact, I actually made 4 of them. And what these do is if you put a log in front of them, they will drain latex. And then you can use that latex to make plastic with Industrial Foregoing. Now, in order to make the Latex Processor, you need a bucket of latex. Thankfully, I've let this sit for a little bit of time. And then I also need a water bucket. And where is it? Here. And then we need a furnace, some iron ingots, a block of redstone, and a pity machine frame. which is not great, but it should be okay. Let me just grab this stuff as well. And we needed a furnace, I believe. Okay, so let me just grab some more cobble, because I think we need that as well. Okay, so first of all, pity machine frame, and then latex processing unit. Beautiful. So now what we can do is, if we grab some more cables here, and then also some mechanical pipes, because we need to pipe the fluid, we can pick you up. We can go 1, 2, 3, sure, whatever, it's fine. And go 1, oh, these are facing the wrong direction. Let's put them here. 3, 4. Okay, so our logs will go here. And then we'll go 1, 2, 3, 4. And then this will be our latex processing unit, which naturally faces the opposite direction. It's fine. And then we can grab our configurator wherever we put it. Uh-oh. I know it's somewhere. I'm just not entirely sure where. My storage is an absolute disaster at the moment. There it is. It was right there all along. Okay, and if we hold down Shift and scroll wheel, we can change this to configurate fluids and change these to pull. So we'll get our fluid sucking out of here and going into here. So now, if we put some logs down, this thing should start filling up with latex. And then we just need one more cable right there to make sure that this thing has power. And we'll start getting latex, which will then get processed and turned into these little guys, tiny dry rubber. The tiny dry rubber, once we get 9 of them, it will go into regular dry rubber, which we can then smelt into plastic. And we're going to need 8 plastic to make 2 of those mob imprisonment tools, so I can run over, grab some cows with them, and basically just be good to go. So that is essentially the plan. Now the good news is this thing, it won't run infinitely, because eventually these logs will break, but it'll run for quite a while. And if we can find a way to give it renewable logs, then we'll be good to go. So let's just make just a simple chest. We'll plop that down right here next to the latex processing unit. And on the left side, we'll say push, which means anything it receives will output to here. Also, I just realized, I think I actually need water in this guy as well. Which isn't that big of a deal, obviously, but for the moment, let me just go... For now, I'll just grab a couple of buckets and do it manually, but it's not that hard to actually automate that so it can suck up water from underneath. I'll just grab 2 buckets here. That should be fine, at least for starters, and we'll see how this does. So, dump you in and you in, and now if we look at this thing, there we go. So it looks like 1 latex. Yeah, we're definitely going to need a more reliable water source. Okay, so in that case, I think it's called like the Aqueous. No, it's not. That was back in the Mine Factory Reloaded days. Here we go. I think this is what it is. The water condensator. Unfortunately, this needs plastic. So, in order to actually make this thing, unless it's the fluid connector. No, that needs plastic too. Pretty sure it's the water condensator that sucks up water and distributes it. We could also set up a mechanism pump and do it that way, but That seems kind of like overkill to me. So, you know what? Let's actually do this. What we can do is just make ourselves... That's not... It's this way. Is just make ourselves a basic fluid tank. From Mechanism, I can fill this up, and then I can pump 32 buckets at a time into this thing, which is, you know, still not like a permanent solution, but it's much better. In fact, we could even upgrade this to a higher leveled tank. This is the basic fluid tank, and we could go up to like the advanced very easily, because these infused alloys is just redstone and iron, and then that'll hold 64 buckets. That's a lot of buckets. So I think that's what I'm going to do. But anyway, I'm going to get this thing going. I'll let, once I get some plastic up and running and we can go, you know, do some stuff, we've got some progress, then we'll come back together. Okay, so this has been running for a while. I did go ahead and put one of those water condensators down here, just because then it's infinite and I don't have to replace it. But we've got a fair amount of latex, which is wonderful. And what I can do is just toss these over here into my basic smelting. Oh, no. Of course, we need to actually turn it into these guys first, because it won't actually work unless we're doing this. So what we can do is put these into this basic smelting factory. It's from Mechanism. It's basically a furnace that runs off of power and can smelt multiple things at once, which is pretty awesome. So we'll just let that go. Also, I got really frustrated with my storage, so I decided to do something about it. And there's a really easy way to kind of do something about it. Basically, all you need is some gold, some quartz, some redstone, and I think you need a little bit of iron as well. But first thing you got to do is make a machine frame from RF Tools, which is super easy, just requires the only thing that's at all difficult about it is you need to have gone to the Nether. Actually, we don't even need this. We just need chests, which I have an abundance of already. So we make our machine frame, and then we'll need a little bit of redstone, and that makes one modular storage unit. Now, by itself, this does nothing. However, what we make are these storage modules, and you can make a tier 1, and then you can upgrade the tier 1 into a tier 2, and then you can upgrade it into a tier 3 if you want, but and eventually a tier 4. But I'm only interested in the tier 2s for now. So we can just put this guy in here and then lock, and this will turn it into storage. And what's cool about this is that you, depending on the tier of storage module, you can store 100, 200, 300, or 500 items in this one block. Or 500 stacks, I should say. And that is a very, very significant amount compared to what you would be able to do with just vanilla chests. So, like, I can store roughly 4 chests worth of stuff in one thing. And then the other nice thing, too, is you can see this one's coming pretty close to being full. I'm at 179. So I can unlock it. I can take out the storage module, and then I can upgrade it to the next tier, although I do need a chest. So let's just grab one of those. And take this guy, grab our gold. What else do we need? Quartz and redstone? Okay, so gold, quartz, redstone. Go ahead and make a couple of quartz blocks. 2 gold blocks, and 2 redstone blocks, and then we can just upgrade this up to tier 3, put it in, and you can see it retains its inventory, but now we have even more storage space available to us. So it's a super nice system, doesn't require any sort of power, and it also has a search feature. So I'm like, hey, where's that chest? I can just search and it'll be like, hey, it's right here. So super, super convenient, pretty good early game. As I said, the only thing difficult about it at all is that you have to have gone to the Nether in order to get quartz, but that's really not that super difficult. Okay, so we now have our plastic, and also we've got all of these guys, and I'm just gonna put all of this stuff in here. And also, that's another thing, you can change how they display. I personally like to go with this so I can kind of see everything at once, but you know, it's not super hard to do. Either way, grab our gas tiers. We'll put in 2 gas tiers and make 2 of these mob imprisonment tools. And these things are absolutely fantastic. I love them. So let's just grab our jetpack real quick so we can move around a little bit more quickly. And if we find a mob, like for example this sheep, you just right click it and we now have sucked up the sheep and we can take it to wherever we want it to go. Right click again, and there it is. So it makes it amazingly convenient to kidnap mobs, essentially. And I believe you can also use it on hostile mobs as well, zombies and all that kind of good stuff. So yeah, super useful. Next step, I gotta go find some cows. I have been busy, so few things. First of all, you may notice this giant torch right here. This is a mega torch. This will prevent mobs, hostile mobs, I should say, from spawning within, I think it's a 64 block radius of the torch. So it just kind of keeps this area safe so that if I'm out here working at night or in the morning, shortly after night, I'm not just going to randomly have something walk up on me and, you know, explode or something. But I've been doing some work trying to figure out the best way to do this whole cow farm thing. And unfortunately, I don't think we're going to be able to fully automate this right now because we would need a mob crusher. And this guy requires an advanced machine frame, which needs netherite scrap and pink slime and all sorts of stuff. So I just don't know that this is necessarily I mean, maybe the mob slaughter factory actually works? I don't know. I'll have to find out and look into it a little bit more. But for the time being, what I've done instead, I dug out a little area here. This is going to be our base. We're going to be underground. I haven't figured out what sort of like aesthetic I'm going for yet. So for now, I'm just kind of digging out areas. But right here, I've got a fairly large wheat farm. This whole thing is 19 by 19 if you include the outer row that has waterlogged stairs. And basically, it's all just wheat. What we have here is a plant sower from Industrial Foregoing. This plants wheat seeds. And then over here, we have a plant gatherer, which will harvest the wheat and send, it will generate a few things. It's going to generate sludge, which gets just automatically sent into this fluid trash can and voided, because I could set it up to turn it into random blocks, but like whatever. This is much easier, much cheaper, and much less headache, so any sludge will just go straight in here. If you let the sludge back up, it will drastically slow down the machine, and it's just not good. But other than the sludge, it will also create wheat seeds and wheat. And what happens is down here, those two items will come popping down here, and they'll go into one of these two drawers. I think I'm going to have to add a third one for these verdant sprigs, because I forgot that these get produced sometime as well. But yeah, basically the drops will come down here. The wheat will go into this one, and the seed will go into this one. Both of these have a void upgrade in them, which means any additional items, once this thing is full, will just get voided. They'll just get deleted. That way the system doesn't back up. But the seeds will come down here, and then, assuming that the plant sower over here isn't full, The seeds will go along this logistical transporter, which is basically a pipe for items, and go back into here. So it essentially fuels itself. It will continuously provide itself with seeds. The wheat will end up here, and this will give me tons and tons of wheat that I don't need to manage myself, that I can then use to breed up our cows, which I have just put over here temporarily. Now, eventually, what I'm going to want to do, let's just get these all bred up. There we go. What I'm going to want to do eventually is use a baby separator and an animal feeder, which will feed the animals. It will breed them, and then it'll do that automatically, and it will also automatically separate the babies. So what you would do is you would put like the animal separator or the baby separator, say right here, and then have another pen over on this side. And what would happen is when the babies are made, it will suck the baby over to this side instead, and then you would set up the killing mechanism to only kill the babies once they're fully grown. That way, you don't kill all of your breeder cows. So that's kind of the plan. But for now, this is fine. I'll just do it manually. It's not a big deal. I am running into some problems. I've been doing a bunch of mining and stuff off camera as well. And I'm finding that redstone is really becoming an issue. I've got tons of everything else. Well, not tons, but I've got a decent amount of everything else. But redstone, because it's used in so many different recipes, redstone is really kind of an issue. Like, I've got a couple stacks of it, but that's not much. That does not last very long at all. Because if you think about it, like, for every single one of these mechanism pipes, for all these mechanical pipes and you need redstone for that. You got to use redstone to make a bunch of the machines, all the generators, all sorts of stuff. Like, everything tech-wise requires redstone, almost. So I'm going to need way more of it. I did make some of these magmatic dynamos because one of the big issues that I'm running into is just a lack of power. I just need more power generation. And, like, these are okay. They generate up to 40 RF per tick. You can upgrade that to 80, I believe, with I forget the name of the upgrade, but there's an upgrade that doubles it. But what we really need is some proper power generation. And I think what we're going to want to do is set up a big reactor. We're not going to do this today because this is a pretty large project in and of itself, and I don't know that I actually have enough. I've got a fair amount. But yeah, we're going to want to set up a bigger reactor pretty soon, and this will generate tons of power. Like, it'll make these things look wimpy by comparison. And then we're going to want to use all that power for a quarry. And there's a pretty fantastic and relatively inexpensive quarry from RF Tools, just called the Builder. And look at this thing. Some redstone blocks. Ooh, I need all the modium. I did not see that. I thought that was gold when I glanced at this earlier. So we're going to have to track down some all the modium. And the way that you get this is with raw all the modium ore. And I believe it says, here we go, found in mountain biomes, in cave walls and ceilings, with additional deposits in peaks above 170. Also found in lush and dripstone cave systems, maybe in other places as well. So basically we got to find all the modium. And then that'll allow us to make the builder, which outside of that is pretty inexpensive. You can see just a couple of nuggets, ender pearl, redstone, a machine frame, which is just iron, gold, and blue dye. So that's super easy. And then also we'll need a quarry card. And this is, again, not super expensive. Some diamond tools, some iron and redstone. And then the shape card is just some bricks, paper, redstone, and iron. So, like, not super hard. And this will allow us to quarry a large area and basically allow it to dig for us and gather up all those resources and things without us having to do it ourselves, which is fantastic. However, the big downside is that it sucks up a lot of power. So that's why we need the big reactor, which we can then turn into the quarry, and then we'll basically be set on resources for a very long time, is what I'm hoping. So yeah, that's kind of the plan, but I think for now, we're going to leave this right here. I've got everything I need to make burgers, just got to slaughter these cows whenever I'm running low on food and continue breeding them up until we have a ton of them. This thing does have looting 3 on it, so I'll get tons and tons of raw beef and all that kind of good stuff. So all in all, I'm pretty happy with our progress for today. We've got a fully automated wheat farm right here. We've got power. We've got cows going. We're moving in the right direction. But yeah, that's going to do it for me today. Guys, if you enjoyed the video, you know what to do. Links in the description below, so check that out as well. Otherwise, my friends, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.